We're back with another 2021 rookie profile. It's CJ Verdell, a heat seeker. Watch and find out. Brad with RotoHeat and RookieDraftGuide.com. Welcome back to the channel. If you're not subscribed, like I always say, do it. If you are, we love you guys. Appreciate it. Drop a like, and don't forget, check out RookieDraftGuide.com. We're talking CJ Verdell, the 5'9", 195-pound running back out of Oregon. Is he one of your top 10 rookie fantasy running backs in this draft? Let us know in the comments below. CJ Verdell, like some of the other guys you'll see us talk about here on YouTube, coming out of high school was not really a guy that was highly sought after. He did get a lot of Pac-12 offers, Oregon obviously where he went, but Arizona State, Cal, even got an offer from Colorado, ultimately obviously choosing Oregon. Was a 3-star prospect based on 247's composite ratings, 443 nationally, 27 at the running back position, 49 in California. Another one of these guys from Mater Dei Catholic that, if you aren't familiar with the Devi world and some of those things, you'll see the name Mater Dei High School or Mater Dei Catholic High School regularly on players because they just churn out collegiate players and NFL caliber players on the regular. There's some schools that have that ability and that knack and that pedigree, and they're just one of them. Verdell's just one of a long line that even continues on past him. When he got to college, he did better than what people anticipated. His freshman year at Oregon, 13 games, he had 202 carries for 1,018 yards. That's 5 yards a carry, 10 touchdowns. Also had 27 receptions, 315 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's a very admirable rookie season when you think of who else was there, the different individuals, the high octane offense they had with Herbert throwing the ball around the yard. That was good, and even did better in 2019, with less attempts, 197 attempts. He had 1,220 yards, so it's 6.2 yards per attempt, and 8 touchdowns, though he dipped a little in the receiving game, only 14 receptions, 125 yards. And then in 2020, he only played in 5 games, and it dropped off. The thing that's interesting about Verdell is, the hype train was rolling on him early, and I was one of the guys that jumped aboard. I have him in a couple of Devi spots, and I like the player, at 5'9", 195, 200-ish pounds. He's got enough wiggle to his game that I wasn't terribly concerned about, only being 5'9" and being under 200 pounds currently. And then in college, he produced fairly well at a high level in a big conference. There's just a lot to like about Verdell's high school and college profile going into the NFL. The tough thing that you'll see is that just because you performed well, you came from the right school, you did your best in college and performed at a high level and did some of those things, that doesn't always necessarily translate to a great fantasy career. So a lot of things that the team, when I looked at the evaluations and building my evaluation of them, a lot of things you see, folks use average, adequate, does enough, he's been highly productive, and he's produced at such a high level that it feels so weird to say terms like that because he's performed well in his opportunities there at Oregon. When it goes to the next level, though, especially in this class, obviously you have to go to RookieDraftGuide.com to see where everything falls with all these different players and the specific number ratings. Because the team works hard at getting that together, and we put the composite rankings and all that between the team on the site for you. But Verdell's at a bit of a buzzsaw. This is a deep class at running back. There's a lot of not only attractive names, but under the radar guys that could be better fantasy producers long term than Verdell. You know, the athletic profile's there. He's very shifty. You know, some of the guys think he's got great speed. Some of them say he's got good speed. You know, so obviously he's at least got good speed, if not great speed. Put that with the ability of being a shifty runner, that makes you think that he would be. He would probably be a nice change of pace back at the NFL. So he may not be the team's number one, but he is the other guy. Because of his pass catching chops are adequate, it'll be tough to see him as a third down change of pace back, depending on who he gets paired with. If he gets paired with a guy who's just a better pass catcher out of the backfield, that could be tough for him, because then he's trying to find work on early downs. And if you've got a better early down runner that also can do some pass catching, he then becomes relegated to special teams work type stuff. And if you're in a league that does kick and punt returns and it's a best ball, then great, but that's a pretty niche market. You know, Verdell has the ability with his athletic profile and his smarts and what we've already seen thus far to continue to develop and become a nice player at the NFL level. The concern that a lot of the guys have on the team is he may not be a great fantasy producer ever, and that's tough. You know, so that's one it'll be interesting to see landing spot in the draft, see where he goes, who he's paired with, kind of what role they foresee him being. His value could be he could be one of those players that has big hype in college, and then when it comes to fantasy draft time, he could be a guy that just falls off, and he's your third round type player, you know, kind of that taxi squad stash type player to see what happens kind of guy. And that's tough for me, because I really like the player. I really like the individual. And when I took him in a few Devy spots, I really thought that there could be more for him at the next level, and especially for my fantasy roster. So that'll be interesting to see how all that goes. What I will tell you is that the team is, like I said, adequate, average. They think he's kind of middle of the pack type running back, and he's probably draftable because he's going to be, you know, kind of a probably late day 2, somewhere in the day 3 range type running back that will get some people peaked when they look at him on film. And if you guys want to see what we're seeing with Draft Guide, like I always say, we've got our film up there. You know, so, but we're not as high on him as some folks, and that pays me, because I was really high on him for a while there. And as I continue to dig into him, unfortunately, in this draft class, he's not, you know, in my top few. But let me know in the comments below. Is he in your top 10? Is he number 7? Number 6? Is he top 5? Maybe you tell us what you're seeing. Let's talk about it in the comments below. Let's talk about it on Discord and Facebook. Wherever you want to talk fantasy, we're here to help. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget rookiedraftguide.com, and we'll talk to you again soon.